All of these things happened to me in one 6-day stretch in Maryland at the end of 2020, from September 28th, 2020 through October 3rd, 2020. On September 28th, I played a big hand. I had kings, a guy had queens, a guy had king jack offsuit. We got all in pre-flop, and queens won. That was about the best I could hope for, by the way. No overcards. One guy had an under pair, and one guy had one of my cards, the king, and a card below that. It was like the best case scenario for a three-way all-in, and I still lost. About a $920 pot. The next day, I got all in pre. I had kings, guy had aces. I am behind the entire time. We got all in pre, I lost. But it was a bit of a bad beat that a guy just happened to catch aces, a hand where I caught kings. If he doesn't, then I save $300 that hand. The next day, I had jacks. I flopped top set against aces, and the guy turned his 2-outer ace. I did not river my 1-outer jack to beat him. So that was about a $600 pot that went the other way. We got all in on the turn when he was ahead, but regardless of the turn card, we were getting all in on the turn. I'm actually a little surprised he didn't want to get in on the flop. There was a bet and a raise on the flop, but he didn't re-raise. We were getting all in on every single turn card. The next day at MarylandLive, there was a high hand, $400 high hand. I don't remember the time period, but with about 30 seconds left, I turned a high hand. There was nothing on the board. I had aces full of 8s. I got it on the turn. I just want the hand to end as quickly as possible, show it, and get paid the $400. Well, we were multi-way on the turn. One guy bets, another guy raises. When that guy raises, and now there's under 30 seconds left, there was no way I could end the hand quick enough to be the high hand for that period. My best chance was going all in, hoping both of them folded very quickly, but I don't even think that would have done it because both of them would have had to act still. And I mean, there were 30 seconds left when the turn card hit, and I saw I had a qualifying hand. Then the first guy acted, then the second guy acted, then I would have to go all in, the first guy would have to act again, the second guy would have to act again. I didn't think I could make it happen that quickly, so I just played the hand normally, and I didn't finish the hand in that period. I did end up winning $100, and I went on the board very early into the next period, but I didn't hold into the next period. I quickly got knocked off. I won 100 instead of winning 400 before the tip to the dealer. I missed out on about 270 because the hand didn't end before the time ran out for the high hand period. The next day at the Horseshoe Baltimore, I'm in a hand where I have a pocket pair 4-way. It's not a great board. The first player to act on the turn checks, I check, the third guy checks. The fourth player makes this tiny, tiny stab 4 ways. He's trying to get everybody to fold. There's no chance it's gonna work for this size. It probably won't work for any size. But what this does is it opens up the betting. If he checks back, we all get to the river. I would have rivered a 2-outer for a full house. I would have knocked out player 1 who had trips. I would have knocked out player 3 who had trips, and I would have went on the high hand board very late into the period, and no hands at any other tables for that period beat my hand. So I missed out on stacking 2 players and the high hand money minus the tip to the dealer. But he bet, and that opened up the betting. And then player 1 had trips. She put in a raise. And player 3 eventually, I folded to that because there was no way I was ahead of her. Player 3 put in another raise. I think they got all in on the river, not the turn, but players 1 and 3 both had trips. If player 4 checks back the turn, we all get to the river, and I stack 2 people plus get the high hand. And maybe the most outrageous thing, on the last day of the period, October 3rd, 2020, 15-minute high hands. $500 every 15 minutes at both the Horseshoe Baltimore and MarylandLive. I hit quads 3 times that day. I did not get any high hand money. The first one of my cards did not play. The second one, I hit quad 3s with a 7 kicker. Quad 3s with a queen kicker was up there already. Those were both at the Horseshoe Baltimore, and then late at night, I drove to MarylandLive. I hit quad jacks, and a straight flush was already on board. So I missed out on 3 $500 high hands, $450 after the tip to the dealer. So I missed out on $1,350. Not that every quads always holds, but like there was the potential to win all 3 of those. If 8 things that all went against me broke my way instead, if the kings versus the queens and the king jack held, if kings didn't run into aces, if top set didn't lose to a turn 2-outer, If my aces full of 8s finished in the high hand period as it was running down to 0, if the guy checked back the turn and I got to the river 4-way and stacked 2 people and won the high hand, and then if all my quads on that $500 high hand day all went on the board and held up, I would have made about an extra $4,000, including the money for the high hands going to the dealer. Including that money removed, I would have won about an extra $4,000 in 6 days. Instead, every single break went against me, and I made whatever I made minus the $4,000. So running good, running bad, bad beats. There are things involved in that that have way more to do than just being all in on the flop, whatever the turn card is, whatever the river card is. A lot of things completely outside your control can affect your profits and your losses. So when I was playing tonight at Caesar's Palace, Anthony came up to me. He said he likes the videos a lot, so thanks Anthony for watching the videos, and it was nice to meet you.